This is a cry around the world. Unemployment, unemployment, unemployment. And even the statistics about unemployment are so scary. But what is the real issue? To my opinion, the real issue is never unemployment, but unemployability. And this is what I mean. First and foremost, employment is that paid work. Employability, on the other hand, is the suitability for the paid work. Now, that suitability, the suitability, which is employability, is actually determined by appropriate skills or abilities and a personal conduct. What is appropriate? Capacity and character. Now, this is what is suitability. Suitability is about the capacity of the person being employed, and this capacity alone, which could be now in this case professional capacity, is not enough. It has to go hand in hand with character, their personal conduct. So these two are the irreducible minimum for employability. That is, capacity and conduct. When they are put together in an individual, in an employee, in any person, expected to carry out some service, some responsibility, these two are inherent. They are inseparable to make this person actually able to carry out the responsibilities that they are responsible for or given to undertake. So they are the two put together that makes the irreducible minimum for employability. Why do I have to say so? Good papers may land a person a good job, but it takes good character, that is integrity, responsibility, diligence, and such like virtues, attitudes, and values to sustain that person in the job and the job itself. So the job being the opportunity in this case, then suitability is the capacity and character. So that is what makes one employable or not employable. They could be in a job, they could be already employed, but are they employable? That's the question. The question is not whether the person is employed or not, but the question is, are they employable? Because if they are not employable, they're just a time bomb. Just a time bomb, a matter of time, and then they will actually prove that the fact that they were not in the first place supposed to be there. The opportunity could be there. That is the job, or something to be done, some work to be done. But having the opportunity there, it is pointless in the absence of suitability. If the person, the people around there, the people that are available, are not suitable, are not having what is to carry out the responsibility correctly or satisfactorily, talking about opportunity or the availability of a vacancy or a job, it's actually pointless. So we should not start with the opportunity. We should always start with the capacity. In this case, capacity together with character. This makes the person employable. So employability should always come earlier than employment. Now, but normally this has been the opposite. We've been always talking about where is employment, opportunity. Not first of all being aware or appreciating the fact that the opportunity without the capacity to take it or to take it on will not actually make any sense. Now, it's actually rhetoric. It's a Asia's kind of a rhetoric or something that is very popular, a popular opinion. Every time talking about equal opportunity. But the question is, equal to what? You can be having an opportunity. For example, like now, you're for running the marathon. a full marathon for 42 kilometers at the 2 hours. That's already an open opportunity. But who can take that? Who can take that on in the whole world? That's an opportunity for all of us. Yes, including me and you. But where are we not taking that opportunity? Where is the capacity? So we always, before emphasizing and wasting a lot of resources and even our mental energy over opportunity, we should start with capacity. So you should always capacity, then capacity determines opportunity, not the other way around. We can also have another example. We can have somebody sick or some sickness. To anybody else who don't have the capacity to handle sickness, sickness is actually a disaster. You could be jobless, but that sickness is not a vacancy, it's not an opportunity, unless you have the capacity. But to a medic, to an expert who is how to handle sickness, then sickness, because they have the capacity, then sickness becomes an opportunity. Not only to earn something, but even to give some service to some. Yeah? So we cannot talk of opportunity before talking about capacity. In this case, we are saying this capacity must be coupled with character, because machines can also have capacity. But when it comes to human beings, it's critical. It's not just capacity like a machine. It's also to have the capacity be exceeded to character. Yes? Then when we can have a very resourceful person, and that is what many times is not available. That is what is rare. We can have somebody with a bit of capacity, or sometimes we have somebody with character, yes, but they may not be having capacity. Other times we have people with capacity, but they don't have the character, the appropriate character. These two are not, they don't deserve employment. They are not able, because there's something lacking. So the two, as we have already said, character and capacity are inseparable. They are inherent. It takes the two to make actually the suitability for employment. That is employability. It is noteworthy that capacity without appropriate character is dangerous. What do I mean? You can teach somebody how to use firearms or even drive a car. Yes, that's capacity. That's capacity building. That is some skill. That's some training. But if they don't have character, then it becomes dangerous. And this is what is being demonstrated on our roads. The road carnage is this person who has been licensed to drive, but they lack the character. So this person is actually proving they are not employed in whatever job, whatever employment they are in. They are not employable, though they are employed. Again, look at that medic who is unethical, but they have all the medical knowledge. Again, human life is in danger. Whenever they fall in the hands of such a person, they have all the knowledge. Some of them may even end up moving the organs of a patient or any kind of a thing. They are going to abuse that knowledge they have. Why? They are lacking character. So we are not going to talk, it will never be employability until we have the two main elements, that is, character and capacity. The capacity put together with character. When they are appropriately done, then we have a very employable person. They may not be in employment, that's not the issue, but they are employable. Because the first thing is to have an employable person, then we can talk about employment. Not vice versa. Look at also the abuse of public resources and offices and other things. It is about the same thing. We emphasized, we have hyped about capacity building, and neglected the most important thing, that's character for human beings. Then when that is done, that mistake is done, it has been this costly for the whole world. So, though we usually, it's very popular to talk about employment, unemployment and the like. Now, we usually have to put together these most important components the employability, not just employment. Appropriate character and capacity building are therefore fundamental to human value addition or human desirability. We can come up with human beings who are so desirable, so much value added to them, that they become very resourceful. Yes? And this is exactly what the world is looking for. Human beings that can be trusted, entrusted with resources. And it begins with oneself. Character starts with taking care of the very holder, the very person, the very concerned person, before they even come to have the capacity for working. So character can even be reflected on the way they even handle themselves. So when we have character, even the person in the office, the person responsible, they themselves are also in good hands. In their own hands, they are safe when character is okay. So character is paramount. When coupled with capacity, then it's actually untold what that would actually give the world. And the solutions, the problems you've been thinking they have no solutions, is mainly because we have people with capacity who don't have the appropriate character. They don't have the integrity, they don't have the kind of, they don't carry themselves the way they ought to do. And that's why we sometimes even have to import labor. Not that we may not be having the capacity. Locally we could be having the capacity. But where is character? Where are the ethics? Where are the values? Yeah? Where are the etiquette? Where are the things that are required to make this person able to deliver a service or the product that can be trusted, that can be depended upon? That's now character. So these two things are inherent. They are inseparable. They are indispensable. And that's why I'm already terming them the irreducible minimum for employability. Not employment, but employability. So, this is to say that unemployment. Now, we have very scaring statistics on unemployment. But much more scaring would be the statistics for employability. I don't know whether somebody, and this is a challenge to the researchers, we should be statisticians. We need to have statistics for employability. Now, Aristotle said that we are what we repeatedly do. Now, when people are used to doing things wrong, it becomes a habit. Finally, it becomes a lifestyle. Finally, it becomes character. So, over a long time, you find people becoming irresponsible. And it is also contagious. So finally, we have people who are in employment, but they are not employable. They cannot deliver. So, if, for example, somebody is used to idling, just spending time, they could be at the place of work or wherever, idling. For that to become better, to improve on character and now performance, not something easy. They may need to be taken to a rehabilitation center. So it is that serious that we may having people to make them employable. Some of them may have to be taken to rehabs. Yeah? So the big challenge upon all of us, and humanity in for a big shock, because we are producing many thousands of people who are actually trained in various, but the person cannot be able to hold an office. They cannot be able to take responsibility seriously because they are lacking on character. And many times we don't think about character. We never emphasize on it. The very same thing that actually is the thing that takes care of that responsibility, that work, that employment that somebody is given. That's why we've already said you could be having very good papers, and there are many papers everywhere. It is very important to have them. But you will find the person, if they are given an opportunity or a chance to work, they cannot sustain the job. They cannot sustain the employment because the papers will actually introduce you to an institution. But it will take character to sustain you there. It is very needless to say, even if somebody was employed today, maybe having very excellent papers, maybe to the highest level of training or education, the next day, if they are found, their character is found questionable, nobody will refer to the papers. That means character is more important, is superior to capacity. But ordinarily, it's like we are not used to emphasizing this. Actually, our greatest undoing is an area we need to give the due attention. Because this is what will actually nullify all the effort, all the resources that have gone into education and training, is actually brought to naught when character is not built. So, capacity building, appropriate capacity building, and character, that is a combination of character and capacity building. This is actually what we desperately need. Okay, now, another very important thing is self-employment. Now, why do some who are not employed formally, why are they able to employ themselves? That's another very important question. Is maybe we wide up this on this thought. Some are able to do the self-employment, others are not. Now, it is an option. The self-employment is an option for anyone who believes they are employable enough. If somebody is convinced that they are employable enough, then self-employment is actually an option for them. But what is very amazing, what is very interesting, is that the unemployable cannot even risk employing themselves. But they will keep making noise, complaining that nobody is employing them. You try to employ them, and you see what they do. They are actually not really interested in the work. They are not interested in working or delivering anything. They just they just want maybe earn money, but they are not actually interested in what they are doing. So I was actually giving some few examples to actually prove my case or my point. I met a guy called Douglas, and he told me how he had started a matatu business. He employed a driver in a conductor, and after a while, they ran down that business. So the matatu could not even pay its loan. I also talked to another guy who was actually a kiosk where they assorted items like fruits and a few other items. Then I was asking the guy, now, do you know of somebody you can live here at your kiosk, and at the end of the business day, they are able to account for everything that is there without nothing lost or nothing misappropriated? And the guy told me no. So I stayed a month or so, and I passed with the guy and casually asked the same question. Have you yet found some you can live here at the kiosk, and they are able to take care of everything responsibly? And said no. I went to the guy the day before yesterday, and he maintains that he has not found somebody else. Now, there are many people in our country and in the world who can even start some few jobs, some extra things, activities being done. But who is responsible? Who is this that they are going to entrust with, and who are trustworthy? So the question is not whether there is somebody, a place, a chance to be employed, but the question is employability. So, I've actually, in my fact finding, I have written a book which actually deals with this subject and a few other subjects quite comprehensively. And this book, in chapter 8, is actually talking about what is required in terms of employment, creation of employment and creation of wealth. And actually, the book brings it out quite clearly that the issue is not employment, it is actually employability. Therefore, that gives my title, the title to my book, Missing Links to Self-Discovery and Actualization. There are some few things that are missing in our chain, in our systems. Those things that are missing are what I'm actually referring to as the missing links. And in this case, for employability, we have to link these two things, the capacity, the professional capacity, and the appropriate character. When that is in place, then we are going to take care. In fact, we will have all our things done. And if any country that will bring such people up, that will build their capacity, the capacity of their people and their character at the same time, this country is not only going to provide their local labor, their local markets with labor, with appropriate labor force, but even export that kind of a labor force. And that's what determines now when labor has to be imported or exported. This is a kind of a thing. It's actually the fundamentals to addressing the very various issues, the various crises among humanity. So the question is, what is the real issue about? Is it employment or employability? I'll leave you to answer that question. Thank you very much.